Well, good rising, everyone, and welcome to the Friday edition of Coffee Talk with Karen B that is starting really late because, well, it's just that kind of day today. Happy Friday, says Scott Hunter on Rockfin. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to Alpine Endeavor, Scrotal Xerox, Lord Racer, Effed Up World, David Young, Jenny Spark. Yeah, you got a meetup tomorrow. I updated your meetup page on the Flat Earth Festival's website. I'm sure you saw it. And then there's also a meetup in Southern California. I think there's like 3. There's a meetup in Southern California. There's the Shaking Hands with Strangers. And then there's also one in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Let's see. I'll bring it up. So welcome. Glad you're all here. Last couple Fridays I've been doing a members only coffee talk stream, which is cool, but there's just not as many people there and it's kind of hard to do it. So today I thought I would go ahead and do a public one and then maybe encourage people to become a supporter somehow. You can join my channel on YouTube, which gives me a little bit of extra income to help, keep me doing what I'm doing, if you so choose and appreciate what I do. And also you can become a member on Patreon and support me there. And also if you become subscribed to Rockfin through my channel, it also supports me. Or you could just send me tips through Ko-Fi, tip me at buymeacoffee.com. And those are the ways in which you can help me keep doing what it is I am doing. Also, for those of you who do follow me, you know that I have been purchasing some video equipment and will be making, I do want to start creating some different type of content that is more professional looking, more, high end, palatable for the masses, to keep Flat Earth alive and well. That's what I want to do. Now, it's funny because there's a lot of people, a lot of flat earthers who just maybe it's an old hat to them now. They know the earth is flat. They know enough that they're comfortable in it, and so they move on to different ideas and things, which is fine. I like to stay focused on flat earth because there are still a lot of people out there who don't know, who have the wrong ideas about it. They haven't looked into it. We think things that are not true, because the global propaganda doesn't stop, and so the flat earth counter propaganda must not ever stop. So that's what I want to do. But I don't, I'm kind of over the whole YouTube scene. YouTube has tagged me as, anything I do just gets buried. It's constantly unsubscribing people from my channel. So I do appreciate it if you are here, if you're subscribed, if you share. I do appreciate it. It helps because I get buried. And so I would just like to, I'm trying to get myself outside of the grasp of those algorithms. We need to start branching out more. We need to up our game. We need to kick it up a notch, so to speak. So that's what I'll be doing moving forward. And if you are able to support me in any substantial way, I will certainly credit you and give you thank yous in anything that I do. New place, we are trying cams. Hi, Thunder Chicken. Thank you, I am Ion's cat. I appreciate that. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. Did you guys see Let me see if I could bring it up. And, you know, and I bring, this is fresh on my mind too, because, you know, how many of you are familiar with Mark Pao? Mark Pao, I actually, you know, I really used to like Mark Pao. I learned a lot from this guy back in the day as far as like, you know, what true anarchy is, and free market capitalism, and voluntarism, and natural law, and like that sort of thing, right? And look at 97 mutual friends. I bet all those people are flat earthers. Oh, Jimmy passed away. Rest in peace, Jimmy. Right before Flattoberfest. We were supposed to meet him in Flattoberfest. How sad. Anyway. Time for a flat earther purge. If you believe the earth is flat, unfriend me immediately. I want no association with flat earthers. But well, you've got 97 of them on your friends list. I don't want you taking up a spot on my friends list that could go to a person who is not a moron. I'm not interested in discussion on this matter. So he's being very dictatorial about it. Anyone who posts any reply to this post will be unfriended immediately. Anyone who gives me any shit about this post will be blocked. Anyone who doesn't like what I've written here can go fuck themselves. What a pleasant individual. It's so funny because all these people are flat earthers. I'm sure of it. I'm sure. Well, I know Mark Devlin is. He just spoke at my event, Flattoberfest. I have it up on my channel for anybody who wasn't able to see it. It was a very good talk. So anyway, Mark Pao, even though, you know, he knows the government's lying and, you know, all this stuff, blah, 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 they're telling the truth about this. This one thing for sure, we are definitely living on a globe. I mean, God forbid he should have to change his logo or his artwork, which isn't that impressive to begin with. So anyway, yeah. So then I started watching a video where supposedly it was his clips of him debunking flat Earth, and what a fucking joke. What an absolute joke. I mean, here's the thing. Any of these people who still deny, or who like Mark Pao, who are otherwise smart, they all, whenever they go to debunk flat Earth, they go to the lights in the sky. Oh, the light in the sky does this. The light in the sky does that. So that can't be happening on a flat Earth. Well, dipshit, moron, you don't know what those lights in the sky are. You don't know what they are. You don't know what they're made of. You don't know how they work. Nobody does. So why would you base what's happening here on the ground level, what's happening in the sky, based on what you see in the sky? It's like they never want to address that the absolute lack of any curvature at all whatsoever, that we can see extremely long distances, which that alone debunks the globe. At least it debunks the globe the size that they tell us it is, and if the size that they tell us is not right, then everything's not right. That's what they don't understand. He wants to sit there like he has spent hours and hours and hours looking at flat Earth stuff. Oh, but the light in the sky! Give me a fucking break with your light in the sky bullshit. I mean, it's frustrating. It's frustrating because, and it's always the problem. They never address the no motion and the no curvature. And if one thing's wrong, the entire thing is wrong. Okay? That's the whole point. So, anyway. I enjoyed your debate on Jaren's show, full ambulance driver mode. I hope you don't have to go through that again. I will never allow myself to be put in that position ever again. I'm done with that bullshit. I am done. Seriously. Which is funny because I'm sitting here complaining that Mark Pao is saying that about flat Earth. However, I I mean, to be fair, I at least have talked to these people many times. I've asked questions, you know, and I've given valid reasons as to why it's not true. He just refuses to even talk about it. So anyway, that's one thing I would like to do. I have a vision. I'm going to carry it through if I have to scrounge together pennies I find on the ground. So you can see that I have my goal here, pocket cinema camera, blah, blah, blah. I still need some equipment. I've spent already a lot of money. I'm at 59% of my goal. Anything you can donate helps. $5, $10, whatever. I'll take it because I need it. And I promise I'm going to make some beautiful flat earth films for you guys. And for everybody else. For everyone. You know, I just want to focus on that. I don't want to argue with people about silly stuff. I just don't. I really don't. If you want to believe that all mountains are melted brick buildings, by all means, go right ahead. Be my guest. Just please don't talk to me about it anymore. Please, just don't. Because I don't think that's what they are. And I have a much better, more elegant, plausible explanation for what I think those things are and how I think these things formed. And it goes along with ancient texts, and it doesn't go along completely with mainstream at all, okay? But just, please just don't. I'm just gonna ask nicely to leave me alone with that bullshit. Anyway, I would like to make a video dedicated to Mark Pao and like some of these other staunch deniers, like him and Larkin Rose. Maybe what we could do is make a video that goes to both of them, you know, because they both pretty much, they're both in the same field talking about the same type of stuff, like personal freedom, personal accountability, blah blah blah, right? Government overreach. But stereo mic setup is working very well. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm saying, man, I invest in stuff because I want it to be quality. I like audio. I like good audio. Bad audio is just, it's unbearable. Even these last videos I'm putting together of the event, it's hard, man. That's why I'm starting to invest in better equipment, because I want the best quality I can ever get of any of these things. Like any event, any of these beautiful presentations that these people are so good at putting together, and they take the time and the effort, and they have something to give. It needs to be documented properly and in high quality, to be shared, to be archived, to be saved, to be relished, you know, because we're doing beautiful things here. We are, you know, rediscovering this realm, rediscovering who we are, rediscovering, you know, how things really work. You know, we're figuring out that we don't have to be, we don't have to be at the mercy of these Rockefeller education indoctrination camps, right? We have the access and the ability to re-examine old information and learn the truth. We have the ability to, you know, put together experiments and tests. Now that we have this technology, even though some of it's not cheap, it's still available to us. So we're able to do this. We can do this. You know, we're just a small group of people still relative to the rest of the world. And we still have a lot to do, a lot of work ahead of us. But the truth is on our side. You know, the truth is on our side. And I think if we just stay the course and just, you know, just keep leaning on the fact that we know that we have the truth on our side, then we can tip the scales. And I think, you know, we're getting there. I was really, you know, I really liked hearing Mark Devlin in his talk at Flattoberfest talk, because he does do a lot of speaking engagements. If you guys go look at what Mark Devlin's doing, he is all over the plane doing talks, right? Ooh, thank you, Carrie B. Appreciate you. Thank you. I love you. 60% of my goal. Thank you. You are the bomb. You are the best. But if you follow what Mark Devlin does, he is all over the place, and he does tons of speaking engagements, and he talks to a lot of people all over the place, and he is saying like, well, 80% is like 80-20 of the people that he talks to are definitely not globe believers. And that's amazing. That's amazing. You know, there's a lot of us that don't do social media. We don't speak publicly. We're just living our lives. Most people are just trying to live their lives, but they know the truth, and that's just, we just have to keep fostering that. It's, you know, that you can know the truth and you can live your life. You can improve your life. You know, you can do it, and that's what we're here to do and learn. The truth is on, yeah. What is the rebuttal to Polaris not being visible from the southern hemisphere? Well, actually, sometimes it is visible from the southern hemisphere. Sometimes it is. There are certain areas that are south of the equator where you can see Polaris still a couple degrees above the horizon. So... And even if you can't see it, actually, I just shared a bunch of videos that somebody had put together on star trails in, let me see. I want to share it with you guys. Whoops, sound is not set up correctly. It was all about star trails. Let's look at him. Oh yeah, here we go. So this guy named Shane St. Pierre has a little group of videos here that talk about star trails.
Literally how it works in reality. So here's this little personal grid sent it over the observer. Here's what it looks like in Stellarium, overlaid it. I've done every position I could think of, from the middle of the North Pole to 45 degrees, which means halfway between the North Pole and the equator. I've modeled it there. I've modeled it. Here's the actual view in Stellarium to show you how the actual stars look when you look at the night sky. And then here's how it's mirrored, and kind of bringing this whole thing together, this whole take back the sky. For those with the eyes to see movement, we need to take back the argument of the sky. So I'm just going to let this roll for a minute. It's got some nice music. Sort of putting it all together here. Alright, so we mapped the orthographic stellarium view of the actual stars to the latitude-dependent observer-based azimuthal grid of Walter Bislam. Use it for his demonstration. As he says, the equator, the stars rotate around two poles, or only appear to rotate around two poles, right? And as you go south, you no longer see the North Pole because you're so far away, and then you see the perspective-induced counter-rotation rotating the other way. The thing about it is that it does lend itself very much to the globe, as I started with. Right, so because it's a coordinate system transform from a stereographic view to, say, a celestial sphere view to a perspective view to an orthographic view, it's all just coordinate system transform. So I can't say in good faith that it doesn't work for the globe. I can only say that it works equally valid for both. Just like Einstein said in the theory of relativity that an Earth rotating around the sun and a sun rotating around the Earth were visually indistinct and were inseparable, and due to a coordinate system transfer are actually identical. So the same thing happens with the sky. Right? I can't say that it doesn't work on a globe. It actually lends itself pretty well to a globe. That's how they convinced millions of people that we actually lived on a curved sphere with a radius 3959 instead of living on a very large flat plane with a viewing radius of about 3959 of all the celestial phenomenon on the Earth.
So that's one. I thought they were a pretty good little group of videos. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate you. And Dave Messenger, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate your support, you guys. You guys are the best. I really do appreciate it. Hi, Valley Parks. Anybody affected by the sun flare that's supposed to happen? No. I did not see that. Hold on. Let's see. You guys want to watch the next one? I actually like these little series of videos. They're really good little videos.
All of measurements of motion have only ever come from the sky. It's just a really cool video. I think I put the whole thing in here. Alright, so notice that there is no southern pole star here. This is just all the southern stars existing on the outer edge, rotating around all of flat Earth, and then appropriately rising and setting to each person, and then rotating around that perspective-induced counter-rotation P-Brain so aptly pointed out.
I actually have a different animation of the stars rotating over the Earth that I'm working on.
I'm gonna have to use this video for something else. I gotta put the real stars over it. Very similar here. All the stars static, rotating around everyone, but our one little observer, as he moves in the south,
look at the stars
gets
are
his
changing
own
around
optical
the observer.
convergence point that travels with him. And look, latitude dependent again. All the big, I think, flat earthers have had this idea, but haven't quite articulated it and put it together. I think Dubé has a clip coming up that we're going to have to add into it to include perspective. But P-Brain laid the foundation. Here's the same image that I was talking about before. So the southern stars are the red ones. They rotate around. And as this guy goes, he sees these stars just rise and set and around a perspective-induced focal point. And it has to be, you only see it in the south because of the distance of your spherical.
It's so funny. I've made star maps
dome.
like this too.
3959. You have to travel 4,000 miles away. You have to travel far enough to not see the center for the perspective-induced counter-rotation to be visible. And that's exactly the reason, right? The reason you don't see them north is the distance.
This is stellarium.
So now we're going to go real quick. Speed through the Southern Cross observation from 3 southern points at the same UTC, right? So this picture shows the observation time, doesn't show anything directionally. Those directions are all wrong, right? And then here's the main principle of the argument against us, that they have different angles, and they cop out by putting it at infinite differences, as we talked about with the coordinate system transfer.
Because we can show that it is nighttime in all 3 of these locations, just not midnight. And I'm not sure if he assumes that it has to be midnight to make the Southern Cross observation, which, you know, according to Stellarium, is inaccurate. If you look at each of these observed locations in Stellarium at the same ETC, you can see that the cross, or at least a portion of a cross, is visible in all three locations. It is just barely visible, mind you, in one of the locations, so, but it kind of works. So if you, I'll show you in just a second what I mean here. I'm showing you how a single star on flat Earth can be visible from 3 locations simultaneously. You know, somewhere in West Australia, somewhere in Africa, and somewhere off the coast of Brazil. So if we look over here, it's over there in Australia. If we move the observer around, you can see, let's say that this is the star we're going to look at for all 3 observers right here, and this is the star in the sky that we're emulating, right, on the where each person would see it based on this azimuthal grid placed on the observer. So if we move this around, we see this guy sees it right over there, almost at its horizon. This guy would see it almost at its zenith, right over here. And this guy would see it almost setting on this side. So this is the same star over here, it's over there. And we move it along. Now it's above him, now it's over there. It kind of makes more sense without these goofy light rays on, but if we look at it, you see it now. So here's where this guy would see it, right here. Here's where this guy would see it, move up to about here, right? And then here's where the final observer sees it, rotated all the way around almost completely, right? And that's what lines up with Stellarium observations for things like the Southern Cross at the same UTC in all 3 of these locations. So, not impossible, doesn't have to be midnight in each location to see this.
Right, so here's the observations. This is from Australia, almost setting. East Johannesburg, right, south-southwest, and then almost due south from Brazil. But south-southwest, southwest on a globe don't make sense if they have to look off the edge to see the same star, right? Like, so if it's not due south, then they're looking southwest off the bottom of a ball to see the same star. Doesn't make any sense. The only way that it could possibly make sense is if you adapt the same thing that Stellarium adapts to show you how stars work in a personal observer-based azimuthal grid. Then the declination and the azimuth angles match perfectly, even on a globe. Tough to say. Like I said, can't say it doesn't work on a globe. It's coordinate system transport equal. Here's another demonstration with the map showing the directions, showing the overhead star, showing the 3 observations from Stellarium, and then the left-hand demonstration. Without changing the time, move the observer base grid around the map to have each star visible at a different declination, but still nighttime, right? So that one's super easy. We went through it super quick, but there's a whole bunch of videos on it out there. It's just something that Globers always bring up. So that's pretty much the video presentation.
Yeah, see, these are pretty good little videos. And he's using that Walter Bislin thing. That guy, like, he's a glober. He made that to debunk flat Earth, but we always use it, and it's actually pretty
right, so
cool
that's
little
super
tool.
easy, super easy to understand, but it's also super relevant to what we're going to talk about next, which is coordinate systems. Right, so coordinate systems, essentially we're going to talk how they took the azimuthal transformation and from Cartesian coordinates to put it into a cylindrical transformation with a ceiling of infinite height. Right, so this is how they mapped the so-called celestial sphere. They took a whole collection of personal azimuth elevation angles and altitude, and they combined them from all over the world, depending which they noticed vary on latitude, and then mapped out a coordinate system with all the stars and when everyone would see them. It seems super easy when you think about it. Right, so all points on a sphere around the origin have the same distance and celestial coordinates, and they all look like altitude d. Right, so they take a flat 2D structure, can be drawn like an A projection map as an angle around the center with an altitude as a distance from said center. Right, so by doing so, they transformed into an infinitely high cylinder. So let's see how this works with Stellarium. This is the default Stellarium viewing mode. I've just added the azimuthal grid, and we're just at somewhere in the eastern United States. We're looking at a sky, and it's slowly rotating above us. We zoom out. This is what we see in perspective mode. This is meant to imitate close to reality as we can get. Now, if we switch the viewing mode to something called orthographic, we notice the orthographic view actually resembles very much a personal azimuthal grid, literally mapped to the observer. And as you see, with this viewing mode, if we go around the world, we can see this exactly maps to it. If we change it up a bit and put on the other grid, so we go from azimuthal grid to equatorial grid, we now see that this sphere moves with us as we go, and this exactly mirrors Walter Bislin's model, right? So here's the southern rotation as we go south, as it slowly rotates around this way, and we're going to go, actually let's move this map over here, you can see what we're talking about. We're going to go over here to the South Africa, and look, there's the southern celestial pole right over there, just like is imitated and emulated in Walter Bislin's wonderful model. We go back to the north, and we don't see the South Pole. We see everything rotating around Polaris. Now, if we change this viewing mode back to what we had before, let's see, perspective, then it just pops right back out, and there we go. So, coordinate system transforms are seamless. It can do this so quickly because they are mathematically identical. It's simply a coordinate system transfer that they've extrapolated to get the actual coordinate and mapping of the celestial sphere.
That's actually a really good explanation of what a coordinate system is. See, I love stuff like this. It's great that he took the time to do all this. This is like the type of stuff that we need. Scott Hunter, thank you so much for the tip on Rockfin. Anarchist capitalists, pretty much fake. They love the government money, but say they hate the government. Most anarchists are fake as fuck. Passio sucks ass. Yeah. Well, when he sits there with that stupid freaking globe all over everything, it sure makes me think he's pretty fake. People think we're all on the same page. FEers are all on different pages. That's how we got here. We are the curious. Yes, exactly. Dare I say alive. You can see the Southern Cross from Marathon, Florida.
Now we can see them side by side. We have Walter Bisland's model with a user personal azimuthal grid that follows the observer compared to the actual orthographic view of a 3D mapped celestial sphere which moves around the observer as well. So as you can see, they are identical. If we move this, let's see, to a different observer latitude,
from someone.
that
Thank
would
you,
be
someone.
this way. Let's go about here, and then we can do the same within our stellarium if I can find the map.
I'll check who it is in a second.
Let's do this. There's the map. And we'll go over here, and we'll put it right there. So there we have the exact equal, right? The exact equal observation right here as time progresses. So we have the similar. This is why I keep invoking stellarium as a backing for the azimuthal grid, because it exactly is a method that's used all over for specific user observer based measurements and comparisons.
I love stellarium.
You can even go to the south pole here. If I push this a little bit over here, we go back up to stellarium and we move it, say, to Australia, and we go back. Then we can see we actually have the same southward facing pole rotating just like Walter Bisland's model shows as well.
By
So
latitude.
this is why I like using this model.
Latitude dependent.
These two things are identical. This
Very
is the
important.
actual stars mapped out with a right ascension and declination, and this is a manipulable, smaller scale version showing the exact same thing. So when people poo-poo on this one, but still, use this one as a Bible, it's kind of goofy.
I love it. I love that stuff. Thank you, Carrie, FE Nation, and then it says somebody. So whoever somebody is, thank you. I appreciate you. It doesn't tell me your name. It just says somebody. But thank you, somebody, for that, because it all helps. Appreciate that very much. Appreciate you. Remember the picture I showed you at one of the meetups last year? Well, vaguely. Hey, Zach. Are you up from your nap? How did your stream go this morning? Curtis Callenbach is the same about F ears. Hope he doesn't check up on me or he'll unfriend me for sure, right? I know. Yeah. So Shane St. Pierre, I like these videos. I wonder if he's got YouTube channel. Let me see if I can find it, because he deserves some subscribers. But I saw that in Telegram. Probably not going to come up because you know how YouTube does us. Oh, there he goes. Okay, I found it. 24 subscribers. Oh my goodness. You guys, go give this guy a subscribe. I just found him. I subscribed. Don't have much on here though. Well, I mean, I guess. Anyway, I don't know why those videos aren't on YouTube. So that's cool. He puts the little, the perspective from Stellarium, which renders it out, and then he places it over the little plane with the personal viewing dome with the 3959.
Straight orthographic view of stars rising and setting east to west for each observer as they rotate above the flat Earth. You don't see forever. You have a limit to your view. You can't see all the stars in the sky that there are. Right? You see some stars in the north that you can't see in the south, and vice versa. So it makes sense that though you can't see the whole sky, you would appear to see the ones that come and go as rising and setting.
Yeah, this is also shown in that other video. This has been done lots of times. He's using that Walter Bislin tool, but it's been modeled. It's been modeled on a flat Earth by... Oh. Steve, is your channel gone? Nope, still here. Remember Steve Torrance used to do these models? But he's got... Of the video that him and Zach did a while ago. If I could find it. Globe Earth Star Trails. Flat Earth Refraction. Here we go, this one.
Hi Flat Earthers, this is Zach.
Remember
And
Zach?
this is Steve. In the previous video, we gave you an introduction on how the refraction in the atmosphere, or the atmos plane, was the solution to the various visual problems that were not working on flat Earth models. If you haven't watched that video yet, click on this link to watch it now.
Today we're gonna explain a little bit more by showing you the star trails from different locations on the flat Earth. Many people thought that the video we showed before was not enough to prove that refraction is the reason why the sun rises and sets, and many others thought that refraction would make the apparent sun appear higher up instead of down. So to make this clear, let me tell you that what we did was add the atmosphere to the flat Earth model in Cinema 4D. And Cinema 4D made the apparent sun go down, not us. So if there is anything wrong with this, then it will be Cinema 4D's fault. If you disagree with the software, please send them an email and see what they will tell you. Now picture the sun is above you and the last layer of the atmosphere or atmos plane is a lot closer to you than the sun. The refraction will happen until the last layer of the atmos plane, which goes to the ground, right? So looking at the sun from the ground through the atmos plane can make the apparent sun appear lower instead of higher. And if you look at it this way, the apparent sun will appear higher, right? But this is all incorrect. What you will see from the ground is the apparent sun only. So whether it appears here or there, it is always lower, and the real sun is always higher. Now the question is, what makes the sun go down as it moves away from you? There are a few theories about this, but they can all be wrong. But let us explain one theory. If the atmos plane is only 5 miles up and the apparent sun is right above it, then yes, perspective can make the sun go down in less than 7,000 miles away from the observer. And this will make the flat Earth model work. But you and I believe that the atmos plane or atmosphere is a lot thicker than that, therefore perspective would help a little, but not a lot. So if the real sun moves to the west for about 4,000 miles, how would the apparent sun look like from the observer's perspective? We can guess, but we will not know until we make a physical experiment that represents all of this. For example, we can do this in a big swimming pool to see how a refracted bulb will look like from far away, in order to see both refraction and perspective in action. If you guys can help, please contact us and let's prove this scientifically. But for now, let's just call it a theory. Because we're just trying to prove it in a 3D program. I'm pretty sure we are correct, but let's just call it a theory. Here is how the real sun and the apparent sun move in Cinema 4D. It's acting exactly how we expected. The apparent sun appears to move faster than the real sun. Therefore, it disappears in less than 7,000 miles away from the observer.
When the apparent sun is at 0 degrees, the real sun is at 35 degrees. And as the real sun rises at its normal speed, the apparent sun follows at a higher speed. The more they rise, the closer they get, and when they are 90 degrees, the refraction is 0.
This is a diagram I made in AutoCAD with the real elevation angles of the sun that we get from suncalc.org. This is the location and dates that I used. You can try that yourself. So when we draw the angles accurately, we notice that the sun travels faster the more it moves away from the observer. As you can see, the distance between 5 and 6 p.m. is a lot longer than the distance between 4 and 5 p.m.
But that also makes sense because the viewing angle becomes shorter the further away that it gets from you, right? So then it has to go, it will appear to go a farther distance, even though it's going the same distance. The viewing angle is compressed as well.
And the distance between 12 and 1 p.m. is very close to the speed of the sun on the Tropic of Cancer. On the globe model, you can say it's the speed of the spinning Earth in the Tropic of Cancer. But of course, the apparent sun doesn't travel in a straight line like the real sun does. So the distance between each hour should not be so exaggerated. We can draw it like this, but this is nothing but a diagram. And by the way, if perspective is the reason why the sun sets on the flat Earth, then the more the sun moves away from us, the slower it should appear to us, right? Imagine yourself in the middle of a highway. The cars that pass by you will be moving in their real speed. But as they move away from you, they look like they are slowing down. But that doesn't happen with the sun, right? In fact, the sun appears to travel faster the more it moves away from you. So perspective is definitely not the only reason why the sun goes down.
Here is how the star field would look if we removed the atmosphere. The place is Canary Island.
Zach is from Spain. Do you not remember Dr. Zach? Well, he changed his name to Decimal Z. Is it thicker or less? But I think the sun behind cloud pictures prove it's very local. Well, for me, the sun is never behind the clouds. That is an exposure issue. It's an exposure issue because if you can take a picture of the sun behind power lines, right? Well, you know the sun is behind the power lines, but the power lines will get blown out by the brightness of the sun because of the exposure in the camera, and the power line will disappear. Well, the same thing's happening with clouds, but the clouds have different layers, different densities and stuff. Some of them are thick, some of them are thin, so it gives this weird illusion where the sun is sitting in the clouds, but I assure you it is not.
In Spain. The lens that I used here has a 122-degree field of view, and as you can see, the stars never set because they are too high for perspective to make them rise or set. Their altitude now is about 4,000 miles. This number is fairly accurate and matches the rise and set times shown in the programs such as Stellarium. Now I am going to play the same video, but with the atmosphere or atmosplane added. As you can see, the video has changed completely, and the star trails look exactly like the original picture.
I think that's interesting.
Here is the original, taken on March 15th, 2015. Now let's play the two videos side by side so you can see the effect of the atmosplane. We can do this from any location. They all work the same.
Yeah. So this is definitely showing that there's a few things at play with how we view the sky. Which is why you cannot rely on the sky to tell you that the Earth is a ball.
Look at it carefully and compare it with the original, and let us know if we're doing anything wrong.
This is back in 2016. See, we've been doing this stuff for a while.
And here is how the sun rises and sets in Salinas, California. We still need to make adjustments to the height of everything, but the atmos plane already makes them rise and set correctly. The atmos plane was the key to solving the puzzle.
Was the key to solving the puzzle.
This is a quick view of the stars in AutoCAD so you can understand how we drew them in Cinema 4D. All the stars you see on the model are 4,000 miles up, and the angles of the stars are accurate and they match modern science. We didn't make them up. And that Excel sheet on the left side of the screen shows all the data that we used. You can find it in the description. Here is a south view of the stars on the flat Earth with the atmos plane added. Now this should be enough for some trolls to see that wherever we are on the flat Earth, the sun and the stars will rise and set. And if they don't look like real life, then please try to understand that by adjusting the map and the heights of all the objects in the sky can fix the problem. We still don't know for sure the heights of everything, and we still don't know for sure how the real map looks like. The point is that the atmosphere or atmos plane makes everything in the sky rise and set in Cinema 4D. If you think that the atmosphere should make things go up instead of down, then please talk to Cinema 4D programmers.
Yeah.
Here is something that we're going to talk about in the next video. When the atmos plane was added, the first thing that we noticed was that spheres looked oblong when viewed through the refraction. The only way to overcome this was to make the spheres as flat as possible. For the moon, it could not be perfectly flat, or the phases would not work. So the moon is a very flat sphere, or almost flat, but not 100%. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel,
Isn't that
Steve
interesting?
Joins, where you will find complete versions of the clips shown. I will also be doing more videos this week showing views from various locations. Thanks for watching.
So, and then I love that little last bit about the moon at the end. When he modeled the moon, he couldn't make it round. It's like a flattened ellipsoid. So interesting, right? When I clicked subscriptions, I had to scroll down. Yeah, I know. Listen, can I show you something? I've been taking screenshots. Of my subscriber count over time. Let me see how many of them I can find. I haven't organized them all yet, but it's crazy how much, how wildly my subscriber count fluctuates. It's weird. Really weird. It used to never do that. Now it does it all the time. Here we go. So here's one. That's one. That's one. Let's see. Look at this. Let me see if I can see when these are. 11/14. Okay, so this is November. Okay, so this is starting after my channel was banned, and like I was at like 15.6 before I got my strike. They just started unsubscribing people from my channel, and I was noticing that it just kept going down as it goes up, and then down, and then up, and then down. Like these are They're always unsubscribing people from my channel. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Go up and read first part. Where's the first part? I only knew about because Zach asked why I wasn't watching. Oh, when I clicked subscriptions, I had to scroll down subscription side to your channel and click into channel that way. They are shadow banning you for me, Karen. Not only did I not get notification on this, your channel did not come up when I typed Karen B. I am still subscribed, but it did not even come up. Yeah. Hi, Flat Earth Andy. Closer than 4,000 miles. Yeah, probably. I still say atmosphere because I think we're in a snow globe and our livable realm is a hemisphere. I don't think we're in a snow globe. I think the ceiling is flat. Hi, Plain Truth. Yeah. Hi, John Keeley. Yeah, so good morning, pretty lady. Love my coffee talk in the morning. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah. So anyway, what state? So yeah, if you are in any of these areas, there is Flat Earth Meetup there. So Huntington Beach, Southern Solstice Barbecue. This is the 16th, Flatterday, December 16th at Beals Texas Barbecue, Huntington Beach, California, from noon until 8 p.m. It says invite a globe earther. Then there's also a meetup in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, like I was saying, at Main Street Tavern, 200 South Main Street in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Noon until 3 p.m. And in Minneapolis, Minnesota, well, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, which is, I'm assuming outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, Cam's Bar and Eatery meetup, Flat Earth meetup with Shaking Hands with Strangers. So there you go. And of course, there's still other monthly meetup. I'm not even sure if these other Florida meetups still go on. I don't think they do. This one does, though. The St. George, Utah one, because that's the one that Kyle does, his monthly meetup. Kyle Adams, who is on Globebusters Tech. Yeah. Massachusetts meetups? I don't know. I don't know. I only post meetups that people give me to post. You know what I'm saying? You guys got to organize the meetups. Just pick a place, pick a time, pick a date, and tell us about it. Tell me about it. Tell Mark about it. And we'll help you tell everybody about it. And we'll help you get some people showing up to your meetups, wherever you have them. But as far as Massachusetts, I don't have any right now. I am sorry. Do you know of any FE meets that might be happening over the pond here in the UK? We need one. Well, I know that there's Flat Earth Social that Ian Leahy puts on every so often. So let's see. Let's go to Mark Sargent's channel. Let's see if he still has any of the meetups there. Mark Sargent. He may have deleted them. He doesn't leave them up very long. Minnesota, see, here's little things that Mark Sargent does to put out videos for meetups. Let's see. Where can I find? Let me search Telegram. Hold on. Oh, look at this. There's a Flat Earth Social Telegram group. Ian Leahy. And here, this is UK stuff. So let me see about pinned messages. So he does Flat Earth Socials in Bournemouth. I don't know where that is compared to where you're at. Now, I get it, but he'll do Flat Earth Socials where it's a Flat Earth meetup and he'll have different guests either live, like he had Mark Devlin there on this one back in August, but like sometimes he'll have other Flat Earthers join remotely, like he'll have David Weiss join or Mark Sargent join. See, Bournemouth, or allegedly Dave, like, cause Dave, right, he's from the UK, so he'll be there. Sometimes they're free, sometimes he charges. I guess it just depends on what it takes him to put it together. But there you go. If you are on Telegram and you search Flat Earth Social, there's literally a Flat Earth Social Telegram group where he posts his little meetups and stuff, or his meetup announcements. I guess that's the best I got for UK. I hope that helps. 125 miles from London. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what that means for you, but maybe if he's got somebody interesting there, it might be worth a little trip for you, you know? A little weekend trip, road trip, to go hang out with some of your friendly flat earthers. Ian, this is the guy who does them, who organizes.
Hello everyone, just a quick thing. This October, the reason you haven't seen any promo for the...
Oh.
Hello everyone, just a quick thing. This October, the reason you haven't seen any promo for the next Flat Earth Social gathering, which is Flat Earth Social 15, this October, Halloween, is because we were going to do an October Halloween surprise and get someone over. It was going to be David Weiss. We got very close. We nearly sorted it all out, but sadly the dates don't work. So we've had to shelve that for now.
Probably because
so
of
what we
Flattoberfest. I apologize.
is a veritable gap. We can do whatever we want. We are Flat Earth Social. We have 3 options.
So anyway, that's Ian. He's a cool dude. He organizes these over there in the UK. The next FE Social meet is on January 30th. Oh, okay. Well, he hasn't put it in here yet. He needs to get on that. Or did he? Let's see. No. Does it say? I don't know. Anyway, there you go. January 30th, Benny Boy says. And you're going to have Martin lead key. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. So there you go. Plain truth. January 30th, there will be another FE Social in the UK. I hope this helps. But yeah, man, it's you know, you gotta, everybody's like, what about meetups in such and such area? And it's like, well, you guys gotta start making them, you know? It's like, we can only do so much. We'll help you promote. I will, if you email me, I will put it on the website. If you email Mark, we'll both of us will announce it on Strange World every Tuesday in the first segment of the show. We do shout outs and we announce meetups. Any meetups that people give us the information to. We'll announce them. So there you go. Buzz Aldrink. All right. My coffee is a little cold. I'm gonna go get a warm up, you guys. I will be right back. And I'm back. 7 p.m. Pavilion Arms BH26NB. Last Tuesday of every month, usually. There you go. Benny Boy, you said you had a picture, a melted picture that you took. I'm actually interested in seeing that. Like, see, something like that, I actually am interested in looking at what people consider to be like melted, because you took it. You know the location. You know what I'm saying? It's not just some random bullshit picture from God knows where. That's the kind of stuff that I actually find worth looking at. Jupiter through the clouds. Solar return in Greenville. Maybe we could do a solar return. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that. I would like to do, I'm still, you know, I'm kind of like, what do I do for another event? It's almost like, oh, we went to Vegas, and it was like, now it's like, well, now what? Now what do we do? Now where do we go? What kind of the lunatic ball, right, Jana? Well, oh, you're way up north. Well, you know what? You got a little while to plan. You got about a month and a half. So maybe you can figure it out. I know that Mark Devlin wants to do a tour. Actually, in springtime, I think he said in the email, where he wants to do a speaking tour over here in the U.S. in some cities for his the talk that he did at my event at the last Flattoberfest, because it was very well received. He sold out all of his books. So I know Mark is planning on coming back here. Need to have one on the beach somewhere. You know what, Carl? That's funny, because Sarah and Griff came over and we were hanging out, you know, just eating food and hanging out. And I was asking her, I'm like, where should we do the next event? And she's like, it needs to be on the beach. And you know what's funny is last year, either last year or the year before, no, not Vegas. It was the year before when I ended up going back to Greenville, and we did it at the last time we did it at the Shrine Club. That was 2022. And it was a great time, by the way. I had a blast at that event. Everybody that went said they had a blast. So, that year I actually was considering doing it at the beach before I ended up doing it at the event at the Shrine Club again. So maybe we do need a beach event. I'll have to see about if there's any good locations, any good venues that we could do it at. You know, I would love to do a beach event, especially here in the Carolinas, because we have the longest stretch of uninterrupted beach. I mean, talk about a place where you could just see too far. You could debunk the globe right there, you know? It would be fun. Somebody else was saying Florida. Somebody suggested Florida. So maybe a Florida beach, maybe a Carolina beach. I don't know. What do you guys think? I love the beach. It's been a while since I've gone to the beach. Lunatic ball. Florida, Big Pine says. I don't know. I gotta start looking into it. Definitely gotta start looking into it. So I guess we'll be back on the East Coast. I would like it to be within driving distance. I don't know. I'm gonna have to start scouting locations. It has to be a location that's easy to get to. Has to have an airport near it. Yeah, Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is a good one. I was thinking about Myrtle Beach before. Maybe you've read my news articles. Want a picture of the map in the boys' bathroom at the Shriners Club? We could just go there and get it. I'm sure we could just go in there and go get one. You know what else is coming up too, Cammie? The Tucson Gem Show. That's what, end of January, February? I really want to go to that so bad. So bad. Yeah, the beach here in Santa Cruz, you can see across the Monterey Bay like 40 miles or something, and you can see the sand on the beach. Well, yeah, I got family in Santa Cruz. They still live there. That would actually be cool. I could invite some family. So here's Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz. Is this the right one? Yes. So Santa Cruz. Here's Monterey. Can you measure? Can you measure on this one? Two miles is this. You have to go to Google Earth to do that stupid shit, don't you? They don't let you measure it here anymore. So if this is 2 miles, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, it's probably not. I don't think it's 40 miles. So let's go. Santa Cruz, California. Okay. Here we go. Then we get the tools, the measure tools. And you go from Santa Cruz. Let's go from this point here. To Monterey. 22 miles. Yeah, it's about 20 miles, 22 miles. It's not 40 miles. So let's see, measure. Let's see, like, right here to right here, it's 22. If you could see any of these other places, it's a little farther. Maybe this little bit right here is 24, 25. On 20 miles. I mean, that's a globe-busting distance. Let's not, don't get it twisted. Even though it's half what you thought, that's still a globe-busting distance. If you could see from shore to shore 20 miles away. If you can see from shore to shore 10 miles away or less, you're definitely debunking curvature. But yeah. Yeah, these are all nice places. These are going to be expensive, though. Oof, that would be really cool. That would be cool. Bay Area, my old stomping grounds. I used to live here in Redwood City, and I would drive across this shitty little Dumbarton Bridge and then go up the bay this way, because driving in traffic up the 101 through South San Francisco and San Mateo sucked. But I had to get, you know what I'm saying? So I would just go across this ugly, stupid bridge down here that nobody liked to drive on, and then you could like be speed racer up 880 all the way to Oakland. I don't know if it's still like that anymore. Plus, I don't know why anybody would want to go to Oakland. Oh my god. It just looks so horrid over there now. It's just like, I see images and, you know, pictures and video of what's going on in San Francisco and Oakland, right? And it's just heartbreaking, man. It's freaking heartbreaking. Free Palestine. Big time. If you drop a crystal, it is provably not accelerating towards the ground. What? So what about if you drop a balloon? Is it provably not accelerating away from the ground? I just don't get it. I'll sail my boat away from the beach and we can document the distance. Plus we have the... Where are you? In Florida? You can see the shore from both sides. Where are you at? A 7-mile bridge? Where's that at? Nashville would be another destination spot, sort of like Vegas. Yeah. Nashville's cool. Although here recently I've heard a lot of people trashing Tennessee. I don't know why. I've never lived in Tennessee. I don't know. Yes, I have a Telegram group. It's called the Flat Earth Rebellion. If you look in the description, it should be here. In the description of the video, it says join the rebellion on Telegram. That's my group. right here, Flat Earth Rebellion. This is what the picture looks like. I can post a link. Here, copy. That's it. That's my Telegram group. If you are on Telegram, come join my group. Oh, look at this, cool. The image created when holding a cube prism over a rainbow already created by another prism. That's cool. Light is so cool. I love the way light works. I love seeing cool things with light. That's awesome. And then also, look, Benny Boy put the link to the Flat Earth social group here, so you can get the link to that. Awesome sauce. Florida Keys. Too expensive. Well, Vegas actually turned out to be very expensive as well. You know, it's not cheap to do these big events and bring people over and all that stuff. It is not cheap, you guys. It costs so much freaking money. I almost had an anxiety attack and putting up Las Vegas. Oh my god. It's so expensive. Yeah. I know. Does anybody want to... I didn't even open the phones. I always do that. Should I open phones? I'll open them. If you call, you call. If you don't, you don't. Whatever.
Welcome to the conference center. You are a host.
There you go. 848-222-2480. I've heard some crazy stuff about the homeless disappearance. Like someone said they talked to a friend who's a cop and said something about massive organ harvesting thing, like all the homeless are gone. What? Where's that? And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not want to be living on the streets in today's world. That's for flippin' sure. Cheers, Lord Frybread. That's where they get their sacrifices. Man, I don't even want to think about the horrible things that happen to people. I mean, it's really bad. Just take care of yourselves and each other, you guys. Just really, this is, why we need to, bring back taking care of family and all that stuff. And, I mean, it's scary out there. Yeah. Anyway. So, Miss California. I haven't been to California in over a decade. Isn't that crazy? I think it's been about a decade. And even because I went to Las Vegas, I did not go to California. That's the furthest west I've been in about a decade. Salton Sea. Used to live over here. Used to live here in Chula Vista, where you could see Tijuana. You could literally see Mexico from the hill. It's pretty crazy. They used to send native skulls to the Smithsonian. Oh, I know. everything goes to the Smithsonian. Like anytime that giant's bones are found and stuff, it's pretty crazy how they just take everything and everybody's okay with it, and like it's like never to be seen again. And it's funny too, because I've joined some of these groups on Facebook, right? Some of these, because I'm so into now, I'm like big into looking at rocks and the geology of Earth and stuff. And you know, there's a lot of everybody now says dinosaurs are fakes, or all in dinosaurs are fake, but they are finding bones of something. People do find large bones. What are they to? Who knows? I mean, are they, you know, I don't know, because I'm no expert at looking at bones and stuff, but they do find stuff, crazy looking things that don't match the skeleton of things that are alive today. So what are they finding? And you know, there's all those fossilized footprints of human footprints next to dinosaur footprints, or what they call dinosaur footprints. So what is that? Are they dragons? Is it, are they just a species that did not survive the flood? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that stuff? There is some crazy shit that people are finding that doesn't really have an explanation. You know, there's a lot of unknown stuff. It's pretty crazy. You know, and all the impossible fossils and stuff. So, you know, what is happening? There's definitely a question to something. There's something going on. Yeah, but how old? That's what I'm saying. The one thing I don't go along with is the timeline, right? They say everything's millions of years old, like all these geology crystal sites and stuff. They'll all tell you, oh, this crystal is 4.5 billion years old. Well, I don't believe that bullshit. Their timeline is completely way out of whack. It makes zero sense. I don't think that you can... We already all know that carbon testing is completely unreliable. That they carbon tested, you know, things that we know can't be beyond, you know, 10,000 years old, yet that's what they carbon date to. So we know that that is actually a bunch of BS. I don't think you can date rocks or minerals, or how old they are, because a crystal, a piece of amethyst that formed like say 1,000 years ago is going to look and seem exactly the same as an amethyst that formed 10 years ago. You know, they all form in the same way. They have the same lattice structure. So how are you gonna like know the age of these things? It's impossible to know. This is why I think it's like, it's impossible to know the age of the Earth. It's just impossible. I don't know that we'll ever know, but to just go along with the mainstream narrative of this billions of years obviously is absolutely ridiculous. It's unknown. It's just unknown. And that whole thing just lends to their fake space. We came from a big bang and evolved from sludge, in the primordial soup, whatever. That whole timeline just is talked about and pushed just to push their, heliocentric evolution bullshit, because they would have to stretch it out over millions and millions of years, because it's not ever even observed on Earth for a change of kind. Nothing ever changes kind, right? As far as life goes, organic life, like a horse doesn't turn into a lion, whatever. That's an extreme example, but you know what I mean. Like they've never observed a change of kind. So obviously their timeline is really screwed up. But on the other hand, how would they ever know? How would we ever know? How would we ever know? The story about the dinos is fake. Well, yes, absolutely. Giant lizards. So you gotta believe those bones remained after millions of years. Yeah, they lie about everything in the world. You can't cite the properties of water to claim level Earth and then deny the properties of water and say it doesn't displace during acceleration. Well, what is it doing when it's just sitting here and not moving at all, and it's not displacing? It's just there. And for you to say the properties of water prove that the Earth and aren't you the one who always says that the Earth isn't accelerating? But then you use acceleration in your little jibber jabber? Whatever. Skeletons in the cupboard. Dinosaurs was a big skippy. I have found teeth in front of me after meditation under the sun. Old teeth. Hail, Ben! Fake space and time. When I look at some of those dino fossils, they look very similar to iguana skeleton. Possibly. Dinos got obliterated by space rock, then ice age. We evolved out of pond scum. Yeah. So what is it? What is the stuff? What are the bones? What is the stuff that people are finding? Because in some of these groups, these are just regular people, like farmers and stuff. People who are maybe they're just moving dirt and they find some crazy stuff under the dirt. Like, what is that? What is that from? This is because it's now moving with the electric field, so it feels no acceleration. It is all answered by electrostatics. The field is already there. I agree, Zach. There are oil rivers behind Antarctica, possibly. IMFT. So, let me see if I can find fossil found, news, latest discoveries and where to look for dinosaur tracks. Giant skull of prehistoric sea monster found on England's Jurassic coast 4 days ago. So I'm just gonna let's look at some of these. So this looks like a whale skull. Plesiosaur fossil, which is almost 2 meters long. What a plesiosaur would have looked like, right? But this looks like a whale, just a whale skull. So let's see. Whale skull images. So here's an orca skull, false killer whale skull, orca whale skull. The Basilosaurus. Okay, here's one that they say is like a old fossilized skeleton of Basilosaurus from Wadi al-Hatan. This is in the desert. So, what is that? Like, so something like this is like, whenever this happens, this to me looks like, oh, well, when the world was flooded, then everything became the playground for all the sea creatures, right? So I'm sure a number of them wandered into these new seas that were now available, and then when the water receded, they got stranded on land and then they died. But it's interesting. So what are these people finding? blue whale skull. So now let's pull up plesiosaur, SOAR, skull, images. So this is an alleged plesiosaur skull. So let's look at whale skulls. I mean, they're very similar, but it's got these weird snaggle teeth. It's almost like alligator looking teeth. Or crocodile. Let's see. Alligator skull. Okay, not alligator, it's the crocodile one that looks like that. I always get them to, crocodile. So they've got these weird snaggle teeth looking things. Could it have been like a giant crocodile looking thing? Because, you know, who knows when they find these bones? They don't know what they actually look like. So like here's it's almost like crocodilian. Do they have more than one? Is this the only one? See this? They're calling this a plesiosaur too, but does this have the same snaggle tooth as the other one? I mean, I don't know. Like, what is it? You know, maybe these things were dinosaurs, who knows? Fossils are real lizards, but humans were huge, like miles tall back then. First, come on. What videos of giants? At the top of a mountain? You made a Effie painting? Ooh! I love it. I love it. Flat Earth art. They're definitely not mammals or modeled after mammals. Maybe due to adaptation to world change. Spare the air day here, and there's chemtrails dripping from the sky. Oh my gosh, I had chemtrails so freaking bad the other day. They're probably still going. But I even videoed it with the P900. I took some time lapse of it. It was so bad. Here, I'll show you guys. It was so bad. So this is me videoing it from the power line. Right, that was the first thing I woke up to in the morning, was that horrificness. And then, watch this. This was all day that same day. Look at that. Couple planes go by and there's no trail. How did they get away with no trail? So yeah, that's what we get. It's disgusting. So anyway, and then like I went to one of these natural museums around here where they have, you know, alleged dinosaur bones and like raptor claws and stuff. Dude, it literally looks like the claw from a big eagle or something. Like, are you guys just showing us claws that are found from birds that lived long ago and then their claws became fossilized and now they're raptors? They're raptor dinosaurs? Like, you know, it's just, I don't know. But they do find bones, but what are they finding is the question. Like, there's no question that people don't find weird fossilized crap all over the place. What is it? You know? Like this looks like crocodilian. This is supposed to be like a plesiosaur, but this looks like it could be like an alligator or a crocodile, right? Like, we have known creatures that look like this, but they want to give it some special name. Oh, this one's fossilized, so this was a plesiosaur. You know what I mean? But it just... Plesiosaur skeleton preserved in opal? This looks really small. So an opalized skeleton, huh? I mean, it looks small. This doesn't look like a giant dinosaur thingy to me. I mean, I don't know the measurements of it, but... So, you know, what is it? Are they just making up, finding stuff that we already know about and making up new stories about it because it's fossilized, because they just assume that it takes millions of years to fossilize something when we already know it doesn't? You already know you can recreate these conditions in a much, much shorter amount of time than they ever try to describe. Right? So here, this is like, you know, one of those impossible fossils cast doubt on evolution. And that is a handprint, a finger, a footprint, and a hammer are part of a growing number of impossible fossils. So called because they upend the evolutionary timetable and puncture the theory of evolution. A handprint in limestone from the Cretaceous area 110 million years ago was found near Weatherford, Texas in the 70s, on display at the Creation Evidence Museum in Glen Rose. And it's like human footprint with this thing imposed over the human footprint. And there's other samples of that. Here's the hammer, found encased in a fossilized piece of rock. The so-called London hammer is a relic that predates human history according to current models. It was discovered by Max and Emma Hahn in 1936 on a walk. The old hammer was so strange they submitted to scientists for examination. It was found to be 400 million years old. So clearly their timeline is I think the biggest lie about all of this stuff as it goes in regards to geology. I think the timeline is the biggest lie, where they try to associate these different depths with different periods and fossils with different ages. I mean, that has got to be the number one lie in all of this, is the timeline and the length of time it takes for these things to form. I hate what they're doing to the sky. But if they weren't doing that, would they be absolutely no clouds in the sky? No. No, of course not, because they haven't been doing it the whole time. We would just have normal clouds. Would love to go to spend a great gem show and spend lots of dough. I know, Carrie. $402 million a year, actually. Then there was the woman finding soft tissue in the bones of what? And then they say they found some dinosaur bones with soft tissue. Wonder if I can find. Let me see if I can pull that up. All the search engines are fucking crap anymore. Controversial T-Rex soft tissue finally explained. Let's see what it says. Scientists find soft tissue in 75-million-year-old dinosaur bones. In a pile of unpromising dinosaur fossils dug up in Canada a century ago, British scientists find soft tissue materials preserved for some 75 million years. Unlike bones and teeth, which can survive for hundreds of millions of years, soft tissues are among the first materials to disappear during the fossilization process. Even so, scientists have found intact soft tissue in dinosaur bones before. The most famous case dates to 2005 when Mary Schweitzer of North Carolina State University found collagen fibers in the fossilized leg bone of a Tyrannosaurus rex. But such discoveries are rare and have previously occurred only with extremely well-preserved fossils. The most extraordinary thing about the new find, which scientists from Imperial College London reported this week, is that the fossils they examined are of relatively poor condition, to put it kindly. As Susanna Maidment, an Imperial paleontologist and one of the lead researchers on the new study, told The Guardian, it's really difficult to get curators to allow you to snap bits off their fossils. The ones we tested are crap. Very fragmentary, and they are not the sort of fossils you would expect to find soft tissue. The fossils Maidment is referring to were uncovered in Canada a century ago and eventually ended up in London's Natural History Museum. They include a claw from a carnivorous theropod, possibly Gorgosaurus, a toe bone resembling that of a Triceratops, and several limb and ankle bones of a duck-billed dinosaur. In order to find fresh, uncontaminated surfaces the bones to examine, scientists broke tiny pieces off of the fragmented fossils. When Sergio Bertazzo, a materials scientist at Imperial Maidment's co-lead researcher on the study, looked at the specimens using an electron microscope, he was shocked at what he saw. One morning I turned on the microscope, increased the magnification, and thought, wait, that looks like blood. After finding what looked like red blood cells in two of the fossils, the researchers explored the possibility that the blood might be the result of historical contamination. For example, a curator or collector might have had a cut when they handled the specimen, but when they sliced through one of the red blood cells and saw that it looked like a nucleus, they felt confident the blood was not human. Red blood cells of humans, like other mammals, are unusual among vertebrates because they lack a cell nucleus. And that wasn't all. While examining a cross-section of a fossilized rib bone, the researchers spotted bands of fibers. When tested, the fibers were found to contain the same amino acids that make up collagen, the main structural protein found in skin and other soft tissues. More tests remain to confirm that the materials the Imperial scientists found are in fact genuine red blood cells and collagen fibers, but it confirmed the implications of the new findings are huge. If such subpar fossils could contain soft tissue, similar materials could be preserved in any of the numerous dinosaur bones found in museums around the world. Well, that's interesting, because if that's true, and of course this is history.com, blah blah blah, who knows, right? Take it with a grain of salt. That just completely destroys their timeline, their evolutionary model, everything that all the bullshit they've been feeding us, right? Around Cardiff, Wales, the bedrock is more sandstone. Whatever age they are, each area of similar geology must have been formed through the same process at the same time. Was this the article Jaren covered about the professor being fired? I don't know. Is it? Finally, the new findings raise a tantalizing possibility. If collagen and red blood cells can survive for 75 million years, no. Couldn't dinosaur DNA, even in fragments, also have survived? Could scientists use that genetic code to resurrect the dinosaurs? Oh god, Jurassic World style. They always want to try playing God and stuff. Just leave that shit alone. Such new information might provide clues to the long-standing mysteries about relationships between different species of dinosaurs, as well as the much-debated question of whether dinosaurs were cold-blooded, warm-blooded like their modern-day descendants, birds. Dinosaurs related to birds is stupid. Or somewhere in between. So anyway, that's interesting. Is it true? I don't know. Preserved soft tissue found in 195 million years old dinosaur fossil. So it's like more than once. So when are you guys just going to admit that that shit's probably not 195 million years old? You know what I'm saying? A team of paleontologist researchers from the University of Toronto and Mississauga has recovered a 195 million year old dinosaur protein in China's Yunnan province. This could revolutionize paleontology by further opening the doors to new ways to study dinosaurs. Scientists have not been able to retrieve considerable amounts of preserved soft tissue samples from dinosaur fossils because they are typically the first to decay after the creature's death. Handful of old organic material unearthed up until today mostly dates back to 70 million years, which is the one we just read, right? This new study has pushed the timescale by claiming to have discovered collagen protein found in all animal bodies. Protein was preserved in the 195 million year old fossilized ribs of a sauropodomorph dinosaur called Lufangosaurus. The remainings uncovered a site in southwestern China in 2005 belonged to a herbivorous dinosaur that had a long neck and traveled in 2 legs. Oh, give me a break. Could these organic material have lasted that long? Other paleontologists are not entirely sure that the Dr. Reeves has properly identified collagen. Although the SR-FTIR is extremely sensitive, the method also has limitations. I don't know what this is. I guess is how they're determining what they're finding. Dr. Schweitzer's work has been subject to scrutiny and skepticism as well. When she discovered preserved blood cells and soft tissue in Tyrannosaurus rex fossils, she said it was rewarding to see other studies to try to validate the hypothesis that collagen and other endogenous biomolecules can persist across geological time, but she suggests researchers should employ many other analysis techniques to confirm their conclusions. Interesting. There is still a lot to learn about fossil formation and preservation, and the study doesn't necessarily shed new light onto the Lufangosaurus life due to its minuscule amount. But more they're just wondering what they know about fossils and preservation, which isn't shit. Or, at least, they could be lying about it. What is this picture? This looks like a claw to like a bird. All these pictures are gone. What happened to them? Bummer. Like, see this? It's like a chicken foot. It's a fucking chicken foot. Or something. You know? I don't know. It's certainly interesting. Baby dinosaur skeleton found intact. Where's the rest of it? Like, what is that? It's supposed to look like a triceratops? It's missing legs. Is this real? Well-preserved skeleton of a baby dinosaur is found in Dinosaur Provincial Park in southeastern Alberta. Smallest intact skeleton ever found from a group of horned plant-eating dinosaurs known as ceratopsids, a group that includes the iconic Triceratops. With their crappy picture, or crappy low-res picture. There's no excuse for low-res pictures in today's day and age, you know what I'm saying? This is just unacceptable. But anyway, it does make me wonder, what are people finding? Because people do find weird stuff. What is it? What were they? See, look at this giant bone. What is that? Biggest femur from the biggest dinosaur. So this is interesting. This doesn't look fake to me. You know, so what is that? What did that come from? What did that come from? So it is interesting. I'm not saying dinosaurs are real, but what's the real story? Like, what are people finding? What is this stuff? California condor. Exactly. President Jackson wanted Lewis and Clark to check out mammoths. I can accept that an ostrich or other enormous non-flying birds being pissed off about having non-functioning wings. Well, technically the dino skeletons available for us to see are all admittedly fake. Yes, exactly. But why are they so secretive about it? So people do find real bones though, and then they don't know what else to do with it. They're like, oh, so here comes the museum or the Smithsonian. Let us take it from you and we'll use it for educational purposes, right? And then it's like never seen or heard from again. You know, I mean, and there's people finding stuff all the time. Like if you join any of these Facebook fossil groups or rock hounding groups, like people who go and do rock hounding, while they're out doing rock hounding, they find fossils. They'll find, you know, old pieces of these old turtle shells get found a lot. Giant shark teeth, megalodon teeth are found very commonly, like near rivers and near the Mississippi. Like, you know, this stuff does get found. People find it. It's there. I mean, you can go to these shows, any of these gem shows, a lot of them will also have fossils, and you can pick up these giant shark teeth and hold them in your hand. I mean, they're huge. They're bigger than what should be in any of the big great white mouths that we know of today, right? Proportionally. So what was it? There's something there. You can't, you know, it's like, maybe what they're telling us about this stuff, their story of it is not true, but there's things that people find. It's kind of hard to deny that people do find weird shit. I mean, you see it all the time, but the thing is, we just don't know about it. What is it? What story are we missing? So here's another picture of that same bone. See, I like this because now you've got multiple views of the same one, so that tells me that it's not fake. And this is a high-res, high-definition picture too. This is what all of the pictures should look like of these bones, right? And it's just this one bone. Where's the rest of it? You know, so it's really fascinating. What What is that? Right? So, like, is this the top and that's the bottom? Like, it's just, what is that from? Dinosaur bones in situ, that just means in place, in the rock from which they were found. So, there's cases of them finding these large bones in the ground, fossilized. It does happen. What is it from? So that's kind of been my whole thing with like the dinosaurs are fake thing. Okay, like I can agree that the storyline and the timeline is a big pile of doo-doo lie, but what really happened? What really are these things? That's kind of a weird thing, you know? And especially if they're finding soft tissue, you know, in scripture and stuff, it talks about different type of beasts or behemoth or whatever. Could these be those beasts? Was it the flood that wiped out the dinosaurs? You know, it's just weird. Weird to think about. Dino's bone structure couldn't support their weight? I mean, I don't know. But they know about dinosaur mating. I know. What a crock. Whilst their timelines around the different areas in geological formations themselves are, such as around here is chalk bedrock, whereas around Glastonbury it's more limestone. Yeah. Large seashells found when they placed in the road by their house back in the 30s. They find one bone and know how it all looked. I know, they take from one bone and then they like reconstruct a whole dinosaur from it. But it is interesting though. What are the bones that they're finding? Like what is that? People told me giant humans couldn't have existed because of the weight under the bone structure. But okay, but dinosaurs. Yeah, I don't know. We found a rock with what looks like a crystallized turtle egg inside of it. It's way cool. Yeah. Well, things in water fossilize and crystallize, obviously, way more often than anything that's outside of the water. It has to be a special circumstance for things that are typically on land to become fossilized and petrified or opalized. Like the petrified forest in Arizona, that place had to be underwater. The whole forest had to be underwater at one point, which is kind of a trip to think about. A friend of mine in the Yukon finds mammoth tusks and makes jewelry out of them. That's what I'm saying. People find mammoth teeth, mastodon teeth all the time. All mountains are melted dinosaurs. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. It's just interesting to me. It's like a mystery. It's one of those mystery things. Like, what is it that people are finding? What were these creatures? Did they exist before us? This looks fake, obviously, because there's two children just playing in the dirt. That's just fake footage. But, yeah. I don't know. I just find it interesting because they do find stuff is found. Weird things do get found. What is it? Now, what they have done, or, you know, they've used it to craft some crazy story about evolution and space and the Earth being billions and billions of years old, and they've used it to sort of craft a way to take the creator out of the equation. But it's just fascinating to me that I don't really talk about that very often, but I do look at that stuff. What is it? What are they? What are these things? Are they just other animals that they're misidentifying? Which I think is probably the case in most things, but there's some things where you're like, well, that doesn't really match anything that we know to be alive today. What's really funny is the trilobite fossils, like those things are still alive. Right, these things. Trilobites. Watch this. Oh! What are those? Those look like the little trilobites you find in the fossils. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? You know, so it's just, who knows with this stuff? Who knows how things even get started? Is it life that the creator spontaneously starts random points just to keep things interesting for us down here? Or like, what's the deal? I don't know. They found one here in Sugarloaf, a mastodon. The new skull is like a dragon. Some of them could be dragons. Maybe they are dragons. Yeah, so let's see. Let's look at what a mastodon tooth looks like. So these, they call these mastodon tooth. Or with these ridges. They're kind of like elephant. They're very similar to elephant teeth. Right? So like if you look up an elephant tooth. Right? Here's an elephant tooth. Same type of thing. Right? Elephant tooth. These are the elephant teeth. Elephant tooth fossilized. So these mastodon teeth, they look just like elephant teeth. Mammoth tooth versus an old Asian elephant tooth. Right here. So, I mean, how much of it is just misidentification? You know, just because it's fossilized or it's become hardened over time, whatever. Oh, let's carbon date it. It's 50 million years old or whatever bullshit they want to tell you. So, these are mastodon teeth. Almost looks like a horse tooth, too. Watch, let's see, horse tooth. So there's horse tooth. You know, of course, horse teeth, they're not as easy to like misidentify, but it's just showing you that it's all very similar. So, you know, it makes me wonder like how much of it is misidentification, or maybe it was a breed of elephant or something that is no longer alive. Let's look at rhinoceros. I can't spell saurus. Yeah. I have no idea how to spell. Yeah, look at this. Rhinoceros teeth even look similar to what they're calling mastodon teeth. Woolly rhinoceros. So now they're saying it's a woolly rhinoceros. Fossilized prehistoric woolly rhinoceros tooth. Prehistoric, huh? Woolly. Right. Like, come on. Woolly mammoth, woolly rhinoceros. You know, maybe these things weren't... I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. Cancel drone strike. They said they cloned a mammoth, make an elephant give birth. Remember way back when they found... It's obvious that these teeth were created by high-intensity energy weapon from an alien ship as part of the Overlord Cataclysm. I know, I was there. You don't know, man. Thanks, Mark, for that. Yeah. They said they cloned a mammoth, make it... Yeah, remember when they said they found a mammoth and they were gonna clone it? Intact mammoth found. Mammoth remains found in Siberian lake. Okay, so this is what they found. That's not the picture that it showed me, right? You guys see that clickbaity ass mother freaking picture? So it's skull. Oh, so here. This is the mummy of a female woolly mammoth calf that died about 40,000 years ago at the age of about a month. It is the most fully preserved discovered mammoth mummy in the world. Do you think these things are real? Oh no, man. That thing looks funky to me. Not gonna lie. What is this? Is this supposed to be part of the mammoth? That is weird. Oh, look, there's that flesh. Mammoth flesh. Creepy. Woolly mammoth video. Hilarious. Mexico mammoth, human-built woolly mammoth traps found in Tultepec. Oh. At least 14 woolly mammoth skeletons have been uncovered in Mexico in traps built by humans about 15,000 years ago. two pits in Tultepec, north of Mexico City, are the first mammoth traps to be discovered, officials say. Early hunters may have herded the elephant-sized mammals into the traps using torches and branches. A recent discovery of more than 800 mammoth bones could change our understanding of how early humans hunted the enormous animals. That's interesting. Anyway, that's a huge mystery, right? Like, what about the Earth's history? You know, if these rocks could talk, man. If these rocks could talk. What message did you retract, Mark? I love it when someone says, I don't know yet. It shows they can think instead of just believing or ride with their imagination. Don't get rough. Our imagination is a bridge. Why are we believing all these stories? Who said we're believing these stories? And just looking at what they're saying. Mammoth, yes. Carbon dating results on mammoth, no. Yeah. So clearly they're finding these remains of these creatures. So it's just, you know, it is interesting to think about, like, what is the actual timeline? What is the actual history of this stuff? They sure didn't spear them or shoot them with arrows, right? How do we know humans hunted them? Well, I mean, if you find a bunch of mammoth remains, like multiple mammoth remains in what looks like a pit, and they can find also like remains of like tools or evidence of a human settlement there, well then I guess it's a logical conclusion. I mean, why do we think that we couldn't like hunt these animals and take them down? Why do you guys think like a whole clan of hunters or a group of hunters couldn't do that? I mean, you set a trap for these creatures? I mean, it's just... to me, it seems highly plausible. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that it couldn't have happened. It could have. Because you can't... Yeah, cave drawings. Because you always... It's funny how quick, like, humans, modern humans, are to dismiss the ingenuity and inventiveness of past humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys didn't live in that time. You didn't live with the lack of the internet and the lack of modern housing and the lack of modern machinery. Like, you didn't live in that time. So how do you know what people did and what people didn't do, and what is possible and what is not possible, and what people did work together to do and what they didn't work together to do? You know, it's like, look at even modern times when something horrible happens, when there's like a huge natural disaster, or like, i.e. 9/11, which I know is a planned false flag type of thing, but look at what the people did. Look at how the people reacted, right? They all put all their differences aside and they were like, it's survival time. So when you're living in a world where survival is a day-to-day sort of concern, well, you sort of you must live appropriately, live your life differently. They're not living like us. And I think most people have a really hard time putting their frame of mind or themselves in that situation or in that time period or in that sort of thing. Like, you literally don't have anything in that time period that there is today. Nothing. I don't know. It's fascinating to think about. Hey guys, I found a boner among one's big fake dinosaur. I don't remember unsubscribing that yellow spider guy. That's what I'm saying. I was talking about that earlier. They unsubscribe to people from my channel all the time. Did I just see movement out of the corner of my eye? Quick, eat it before it gets away. We have no clue how previous cultures actually existed. I bet ancient people had conveniences that are long forgotten, technologies that would surprise us. Well, I'm sure that they were inventive and they did everything they could to make their lives easier at that time, but it's not going to be anything like what we have today. Not allowed to use logic. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But I know that I did find this channel recently where this guy, he's like, I've been watching a lot of videos by stonemasons where there's a lot of people actually on YouTube, all you history investigators who say people could not have carved into stone and rock back then. There's actually a lot of channels on YouTube where they are carving into stone, like granite and sandstone and limestone, granite being the hardest one, with primitive tools. Now, it's very slow going and very labor intensive, but it's not impossible. I just, if you think about a time where there was much more drive to do things because you didn't really have a choice than to do things in that primitive way, right? There was no choice, so they just did it. They just dug in and did it. And, everybody worked. Everybody worked to survive. Back then, you're talking about, working to live, not living to work, right? The true way, you know what I mean? They didn't rely on technology. That's why they were so good, right? Skills. They built skills. One with bone, they built an entire model? What do you mean? Of what? They just knew how to do stuff. Modern man is a useless effing gimp with hardly any skill. Yeah, that's the thing. People don't know about craftsmanship and hard work and talent and skill. So many people don't have it. Technology makes people lazy. The modern conveniences have made people lazy. It has made them unimaginative, uncreative, uninventive. It's undid a lot of things. And that's, sad to see. But we can make up plenty of stories about it. There were no shops to pick up milk or cigarettes. Tech made it so everyone could do a mediocre job instead of a few being able to do the job masterfully. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. This is what we're missing. We're missing true craftsmanship. Like when people had their last name was what they did, like blacksmith was a blacksmith, and all that good stuff, where there was like family skills and traditions that were passed down from the elders to the young ones, like that skill that's learned over a lifetime, all the little nuances, all of the tips and tricks, all that stuff. All they have to do is cut electricity and our skills are less than caveman. That is so true, Cammy. So true. Said as much in Leave the World Behind. Without my cell phone and GPS, I am worthless. Hey, Justin Johnson. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to Based. Welcome to the channel, sir. AI is only going to make it worse with visual audio. I know! This is why I refuse to use any of that stuff. And it's funny, too, because I was watching this interview earlier with this guy who's from Google. He's the Google whistleblower guy. His name's Zach Voorhees. And he was actually, it was actually an interesting interview to listen to. He did it with Alison Morrow. She's on YouTube and Rockfin if you guys want to go check it out and watch it. But it was a very interesting interview because this guy is, like I said, he's the Google whistleblower. He worked for Google and he was working for Google when Google started implementing all of their algorithms and stuff that started burying all of the conspiracy channels or anybody who wanted to talk about and anything that went against the mainstream narrative. And she was asking him, and this is like a 2-day-old interview. She asked him, she's like, they're talking about search engines and which search engines can you use to get the best results. And she's like, what search engines do you use? And he's like, well, I was using DuckDuckGo, but it's kind of shit now. He's like, I can't even recommend a good search engine. They all suck. They all have altered results. This is a guy who like worked for Google. Like he blew the whistle on Google. He says he's now making a fifth of what he was making for income when he was working at Google, because he says he reclaimed his soul, you know. And I really love people like that. Like that's what's up. When you care more about truth than you do about money or wealth or material things, you know, that says a lot. So he's like, I can't even recommend a good search engine. Like they all suck. And she's telling him, she's like, well, how do we get around it? How do we work around it? And he's like, well, I think we're pretty much walking in conquered territory when it comes to like these big conglomerate companies that control these search engines and stuff. He said that one thing that does help you get past a search, that the burying of the searches, is when you write a book and you publish a book and then the book gets critically acclaimed or good reviews. Which, when he said that, I was like, well, that explains why Eric Dubay is able to get past all of those algorithms. Mark Sargent was finally able to get through it because he's got a couple of books. But it made sense to me because I'm like, oh, wow, a lot of the bigger channels, they do put out books. Maybe that does help. I don't know. To me, it explained the Eric Dubay phenomenon. Because this stuff is not that great. The dead internet theory feedback loop results. Ted's home. I'm making a fifth in the still. Oh yeah, the trolls do love Mark's channel. Yeah. I don't embrace the trolls the way you do, Mark. You should write a book. You should write a book. And I was like, wonder if I could write a book. No, I can't write a book. I hardly even read books, much less write a book. Like, I'll probably never write a book. That's okay, though. I like pictures. I'm gonna draw pictures. I'll make pretty pictures and paintings and video and film, but I'm probably not gonna be writing a book anytime soon because I'm not a writer. That's just not who I am. Fuck the trolls. More trolls. More trolls. You guys are funny. Hilarious. Alright, well, Ted's home, and Ted and I got some stuff to do. So I'm probably gonna wrap it up. We gotta go do some adulting. Gotta go get chicken feed and dog and cat feed and whatever else we gotta do. Human feed. And get some stuff done today. Emily talked with Zach Voorhees 3 years ago. Yeah. Basically, he said, like, they tag you. Once you're tagged, that's it. There's no getting around it. So that's that's what's happening to me. There's just no getting around it. They're gonna unsubscribe people from my channel. I mean, this is YouTube, you know. But whatever. Like I said, that's why I'm moving on to bigger and better things. I want to produce high-end, high-quality flat Earth films that will be shared beyond YouTube. Far beyond YouTube. That's going to have a better reach. It's going to be... I can see it in my mind. We're going to make beautiful things. Is flat Earth moving forward or standing still? Well, the Earth, in my opinion, is stationary. It is not moving. However, the people are moving forward. Myself included. I am moving forward I am going on to bigger and better things. I am going to do my best to keep exposing the lies, the deception, and help people come to the truth. Learn the truth about where we live. Everything else you can figure out yourself. Google, YouTube. Yeah, for the time that I didn't use my channel when they gave me 2 strikes leading up to the event, as you know, they always do that to me right before the event, right when I need to promote my event. They're like, yeah, we're gonna shut you down. Always. Always. Oh, thank you, Justin Johnson, for gifting memberships. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, keep moving forward, onward and upward at 9.8 meters per second. Or squared or whatever it is. I'm just kidding. I'm thinking about getting started in video audio editing, maybe able to help out in the future. Yeah, editing. That's a lot. You need a lot of expensive equipment, and it takes a lot of time to do it. And since I've already been doing it for a while, that's why I'm just gonna keep doing it. Alright, you guys. Thank you everybody for hanging out with me for another episode of Coffee Talk with Karen B. I will be back here this coming Monday with another Coffee Talk at 9:30 a.m. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course tomorrow, I should be here with Just Jack for another episode of Anti-Religious Scripture Study at 11:11 a.m. And I guess that's it. You love editing? Boy, I tell you what. Huge learning curve. And very time consuming. Oh, by the way, I'm also releasing all of the presentations from Flattoberfest, and I'm going in order. So I have released all of the presentations from day 1 up into Jason Lindgren. Jason Lindgren I put up for members last night. I will make it public this afternoon, and that will be all of the presentations from day 1. And then this weekend, I'm going to be putting together the Chief Crow set, editing that part, and then I will start with day 2, which starts with the sound bath, which should actually go really fast because that's all in one pretty well put together video with great sound. Fortunately, the sound bath got recorded beautifully. Thank goodness. So that will be put up, and then I will start doing the presentations, so on and so forth, and winding up with the Q&A. So just keep an eye out for that. Any channel members, you get first peek for an extra day, and then I make it public for everybody else. So there you go. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for being here. I appreciate anybody who also shares the content, tell people about the channel. And I shall see you all soon. All right. Is there anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Nope, that's it. All right. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate you. Bye. And for those who wish to send me stuff through snail mail, you can send it to P.O. Box 10, Earl, North Carolina, 28038. There are also links below for Flat Earth merch, and you can send me donations. And I do appreciate all the support. Sincerely, thank you very much. Also, please go to flatearthfestivals.com for all information about upcoming Flattoberfests and Flat Earth-friendly local meetups. If you are organizing a local Flat Earth meetup, email me at flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com with your meetup information to have it listed on the website for free. For everything else, you can email me at karenbfe@protonmail.com. Thank you for being here.